Hi, my name's Todd, and you're watching Unwrecked.
So anyway, we're going to get started on this today. Just doing a couple little things here and there. Helped Johnny out last night. We got that truck up and running. The clutch still has some issues, and we tried timing it, and I think he's a tooth off on his distributor. So he's going to mess with that today. But it is running, and it actually runs pretty well for being out of time. But also... I'm looking into IAAI, not having any luck right now. I had an account with them. My password expired and it's not letting me in. But I know the last time I looked, it was dealer-only sales. So that's another thing I'm looking into, whether I can do a dealer's license or not. I don't know. I'm looking into it. It's not looking like I can, but I'm going to try to do what I can. And also, how about a big round of applause for YouTube finally getting their shit together and monetizing the Bori Auto. That's awesome. It's good to be rewarded for your efforts, you know what I mean, kinda. And he's been waiting for like 5 months until they finally approved him. He's met the requirements for the whole time, but it's just that's crazy. I think it took a month for mine to go through, but 5 months, that's like, come on, get your shit together. Alright, so looking at the Cruze, my first efforts on this headlight, I'm going to try to reattach that reflector, because then I only have to break open one headlight. But if that doesn't seem to work, then I'm going to have to break them both open and take the other one off. But if I go through the trouble to get them both open, I'm probably going to do a little bit of customization. I've done this on previous cars I owned, but when you get them open, you don't want to do anything to your reflective surfaces in here. But like this chrome on the outside edge here, and the outside edge of that, and then right here in the corner, I might black them out. You see what I mean? But you got to do that when you have it apart, and you have to scuff those surfaces. And I think I used high temp paint, which I don't know that even really matters, but they do get warm from the light. But yeah, don't affect your reflective surfaces inside where the bulbs are, but around the outside edges you can modify those, and it's still legal. So at least here in Pennsylvania, you can probably run without headlights in other states. It's just Pennsylvania is like very picky. We'll get into this. I'm going to the gym here in a little bit, but I think I'm going to go ahead and get started on the Cruze right now. I'm going to switch cameras because my my thigh eye, which my imitation GoPro, gets a wider spectrum, so I get more in the shot. And being inside the car, you don't really get a wide angle with this. So let me go switch and we'll get back. Well, I have a little bit of time before I go to the gym, and first thing I'm going to do is remove, oh, they're riveted, but I'm going to get this plate holder off the front, because in Pennsylvania we don't require a front license plate, so they're ugly. It's got to go. Sure, you got a couple holes now, but it still looks better, I believe. I don't like those front plate holders. I hate them, actually. I gotta go grab the keys. I think I have it locked. I'm gonna pull this headlight real quick. Also, you guys are suggesting that the water pump and the thermostat housing are known for leaks on these.
Over here around the thermostat, I'm not seeing anything below it that resembles antifreeze or even a wet surface for that matter. And same with over on the water pump. It's kind of hard to see from right here, but I don't see any water. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to top it off with antifreeze for right now, and then we can see what happens from there, if we can find a leak or not. Before you guys say anything, I know that's not Dex cool, but use with any color antifreeze. All makes, all models. Whatever. If it don't work, it's on them. No, I've used it in the past. It doesn't hurt it. One thing I am glad to see, that even though it took a hit on this side, this headlight, all the tabs are intact. I do not personally know if the front bumper has to come off. At this point, I'm guessing yes, but let me get into it and we'll see how it turns out. Alright, so you do in fact have to peel the bumper back, because the bumper clips in to this clip right here, which everything's solid. I am going to have to take this headlight apart. That piece is kind of jammed in there right now. I don't know why I don't want to move. There it is. But even though I got it close, I got to get in there to glue that. I think I'm just going to go ahead and put it back on, because then that'll eliminate me having to tear both of the headlights apart to do this job. But this one definitely has to come apart. You can put these in the oven, and I'm not sure on the time, but you can put them in there and bake them to get the glue tacky, but it is still a hard job to get them apart without damaging something. It's not only is it clipped in around the edges, there is this very tacky glue that gets soft when you heat it, which I normally use a heat gun whenever I do this. So I'm going to use a heat gun and just work my way around it. You got to try to get all these tabs loose first, get the tab out of place, and then you got to get the glue hot enough that it'll let loose, and then you just have to pry, and it's a job. This lower bracket's going to have to come off so I can get into the tabs. Still, I'd rather only do one than have to do two of them, so that's what we're going to do. Alright, so what I believe happened to this car is, this is deer damage, because I did find a little bit of hair in it, and I'm guessing that they grazed the deer, slammed on the brakes, and then somebody rear-ended them, which makes sense to me. Also, I think somebody already restored these headlights once, because if you look up here, I don't know how this will come up on camera, but that looks like a clear coat and it's peeling. So I'm going to try to polish this up when I get it done. It'll be easier to do off the car. Maybe do the other one too. But yeah, I want to make them look a little bit better. Alright, I want to show you something I found a little ridiculous. Somebody got out of hand with putting oil in this. Do you see that? Where the level's at? Down here where it's supposed to be. right there. You see how high that is? Holy crap. So before we run this thing much more, we definitely need to drain some oil out of this thing. I don't know what people think. How do you, it's almost like twice as much as it's supposed to be in there. Just pulled the air filter out. You can see no dirty air is getting through, so it's doing its job. It's just a little bit dirty. I don't know, this might even be a newer filter. That's really clean for 92,000 miles, honestly. Made in South Korea. Okay. Anyway, I'm just going to throw this back in there. I do want to clean the mass airflow sensor since there was a lean code on it. Because that can cause issues like that if it's not reading right. But I don't have any mass airflow sensor cleaner right now. I got to go get some, so might do that here a little bit later. I can get into the fender from where I'm at now. I might try to pop this out, but I can't really. The way that there's that crease there, and then there's a crease here, that would be very hard to use PDR tools to get that back to perfect. I know some people can do it. I'm not one of those people, but I can get it out probably close to where Jerry can do the body work to it. So I think we're going to keep this fender. It fits good, everything's lined up and stuff. It's just this dent, and I know Jerry can fix that. So and then he'll do a little bit of paint work here, and then there's a scuff on the other side he needs to do a little bit of paint work on too, but that's no big deal. So let me throw this back in, and then I got to go to the gym, and I'll come back later and we'll get some more footage. Alright, so I got a good workout, just got back from the gym. I'm going to go down in my basement, my work basement, and try to get this headlight apart without cracking or damaging it. Also wanted to update you guys, the excavation on the bank is supposed to start this week. I got a call from the excavators, and they're supposed to start here later on this week. So it's going to get started here soon, and I'm excited. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see good enough. What I'm going to do is get that headlight over here, and we need to start heating it up with a heat gun. Which, don't want to get it too hot, you don't want to melt it, but you need to get that glue warm, and then you need a small screwdriver just to help pry it a little bit. Don't get carried away with it if you're doing this, because you will break the light. Well, I know I've done it this way in the past. It's not working. It's not breaking free. So I am going to have to put this in the oven. I got the edges pretty messed up right now, but you know, I think I can heat it up and force it back into shape. But I can't keep it warm on the other edge. I just can't get this loose. I mean, it does not want to let loose. So it's not heating the glue up on the inside of the lens, around the side. So we need to go put this in the oven. So let's go do that. Okay, so I removed the lights, and oh, I can see right here there's a little screw. That's probably what attaches to that plastic piece. But anyway, I removed all of the you know, rubbers and lights and shit like that. I probably should still remove this bracket yet. But we're going to bake it at 270 for 7 minutes, and we'll see how that comes apart. Also, right now is a very good time for you to wipe all these bug splatters off, if you can see them. So I got some alcohol here, so we're gonna douse it down here, and use a microfiber cloth and just, you know, scrub it. It's kind of hard to do while I'm holding the camera, but yeah, you want to get that stuff off so you're not baking it on there and it's harder to get off that. The video I watched, guy put it in the oven, he pulled it out, he stuck a screwdriver in there, pried it right apart. Didn't work so good for me. So I need to go reheat it again. I got the housing all screwed up now, but they say you can reform it. I can use the heat gun and reform it. So I hope I don't destroy this headlight in the process, but it's not working out very good in my favor right now. So I'm going to go put it in the oven again. I'll come back and I'll try to pry her open again. Okay, that was the most painful thing I ever tried to do in my life, and I busted this even more in the process. Hopefully I can salvage this. I really messed this housing up in the process of doing this. I'm gonna have to heat it and reform some of the plastic on it and stuff. The lens is alright. Basically what it came down to, and the reason why I could not get it apart, is there was one lonely screw in the back. The one that I thought held that lens in goes through back here, right here, and it screws into the back of that housing right there. So that one screw was holding this while I was trying to pull the lens off. That's why it was so hard for me to get it off. I didn't break anything, but I just really messed this up. So I'm gonna have to heat this up and reform it. And you can see, like, you know, you really had to get a screwdriver in there and pry on it. This chrome will cover this up. So, you know, is what it is. We're gonna try our best to salvage this and seal it back up whenever we're done. But I don't know if I can even save this now because I busted it in two pieces. So we'll see how this works out. So in the long run, this is really not salvageable. This is cracked in several different places, so it's not going to be strong, period. It's been pieces bust off of that. It's just real brittle, hard plastic. And then to hold this up after it glues on there, it's just going to break again. So what I'm going to do is put it back together without it. I don't want to take the other headlight out because this was a pain, and to remove that, I don't even know if I can salvage this headlight now, and I don't want to damage them both, because if I do have to buy a headlight, I don't want to have to buy two, because it's going to be, you know. So let me see if I can save this one. If I can save this one, I'll use it. If I can't, I will buy another headlight so it does match the other side. You know, I'm going to do what I can, but I don't want to go overboard on the spending on this project. Alright, so I got everything formed like back to shape, and I got the lens like in place, and I'm baking it one more time so it softens the glue up so I can get the lens down in the whole way. Then I'm gonna have to use my heat gun to, you know, try to form it around the tabs and stuff. And then I'm gonna have to put some sealer around the outside to make sure that it has a good seal. So it's in the oven right now. It's baking. We'll see how it turns out. Alright guys, so it didn't really turn out that horrible. I had to reform the housing a good bit. All the tabs on this side are pretty decent. Deformed some on the bottom, you know. Some of them are grabbing, some of them aren't. You can see it's a little wavy, but I just threw my phone on the ground. Yeah, so I had to form it back together up here. But I mean, it's together. I still want to run a bead of sealant around the edge just to, you know, be a double assured that it's sealed off, because you don't want to have any water or anything getting into this and getting between the seal and stuff. So that's what I'm going to do now, if I can find some sealer. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad. I think it's usable. I know, that's not very professional, but you know what? It's effective, okay? It's going to seal that up. It's going to be alright. I'm not putting it back in the car right now because that silicone, you want to let it set and dry, and I don't want to get it all messed up right now. I got a bead the whole way around every tab, even the broken ones. I even sealed off where the tab was. Should work. I don't see why it shouldn't. I mean, yeah, it's not a pretty fix, but it's an effective fix, so that's what we're going to roll with. And also, I don't really think this is going to be a big deal. I mean, you can see how this one looks, just glancing at it, and now look how this one looks, glancing at it. Seriously, it's not like a huge difference. Alright, so I got the headlight inside. Obviously somebody didn't like these hubcaps because they were about to fall off. I just tightened up those plastic hubcap holders on there so it'll stay on. And I got my hand in behind this and popped it out. Yes, it still is creased pretty good, but I'm going to leave the rest of that work to Jerry. This crease right here is, you got to pound on that with a hammer. I didn't want to get into doing that, so I just got my hand back in here and pushed out what I could to see how it would, you know, form out. I do see that it kind of kept this crease until right here. So yeah, you know, I'm not a body guy. As much as this work as I do, I leave this kind of stuff to professional, and that's why I have Jerry do it. So it'll look good when it's done. Alright, so I took it upon myself, started ripping panels apart. Pull this up, pull the back one up, then just pull this panel out. You can play freaking guitar on this thing. Anyway, here is your anchor pre-tensioner, I guess. That's what they call it. This thing's very tight, but you got one bolt right here holding it. And then the cord is up under the seat somewhere, and I can't find it. So we might have to pull the seats to get to the actual plug, but I'm not feeling it anywhere close. Anyway, unless the plug's actually on it down here. And then here's your sensor. That's an airbag sensor. And then in here, I can get a better shot from the back. That's why I have the seats up, but that pulled the seat belts tight in the process. Okay, so you can see right here's your seat belt retractor. Don't know if that's a broken piece off of it. That's supposed to be clipped in. Probably is, as tight as it is right now. So Anyway, I didn't start on that side yet. How did it get a dent on the inside door panel? How do you do that? Anyway, right here's that side piece. Everything just clips in. Pull this up. Here's the floor piece. It just pulls up out. It's just all clips. Hold it in place, which there's a clip missing on this now. Oh, it's stuck in the floor. That's fun. We'll get that out. Unless I can get it to clip back in. I might be able to get it to just clip back in whenever I put it back together. Anyway, it's out. I'm gonna go ahead and tear the other side apart, and then I'll see if I even have a socket that I can fit on there to start taking them out. So the clips on this side weren't as forgiving. Broke a tab right here off of this. Right there's the clip off of that. That would not release. The plastic pieces on there, that metal clip was supposed to come out with it. Now it's like wedged down in there. So I'm going to try to get a pair of pliers and get that out of there before it drops down in and I lose it. Before I go any further, I need to remember to disconnect the battery. So that's what I'm going to go do right now, just so you know, we don't have any problems when you unplug the sensor. I don't want to have any power or any current going through them, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to touch the terminals together too, so it's like fully drained. And then we'll get back to this. I think I'm going to have to pull the seat because I don't know that I can get underneath to get to the plug on this. But I thought the seat belts were a dual stage, but they're a single stage. So it's got this, the anchor pretensioner, and then the seat belt retractor pretensioner. They're the only two. So we're gonna have them all redone. The seat belts are in good condition. So anyway, let's disconnect the battery before I go any further, and then we'll go from there. And there we go. This seat's got kind of a little bit of a stickiness to it. We're definitely gonna have to steam this thing out. I mean, it's dirty. But the hardest part about this, yeah, you hear that? Yeah, it definitely detonated. I thought that this anchor was riveted right there, when that's just a plastic clip. It just sits down in there and that plastic clip goes in. I didn't even check it, so I took this anchor apart and it really didn't need to come apart, and that was like the hardest part of this whole job, was getting this apart. And I'm gonna put it back together to send it out. I don't really want to have it apart. I'm gonna send it all as one piece. So I'm gonna put this back on here. But just trying to get this thing open so that I could get to this bolt to take it apart. I could not figure it out. I mean, you just gotta pry it, basically. So, this cap right here, that right there, that was a pain in the butt. So, anyway, there we go. One seat belt down. I lied to you guys. Unless you want to send your interior piece with it, you do have to take that apart. I didn't even think about me taking it off of there. But yeah, you just got to get something really sharp and jam it in here and pop this out from the top. And I don't even know if that screwdriver not going to work. I have a small screwdriver over here. And this was the hardest part, and it pops from the top. Get a screwdriver in there, tight. But this is how I did the other one. So get it in there, and then it's like a little door, and it pops right open. Now I need to grab my this. I also need to pop it apart. It actually pops, the whole body of it pops apart. But I think it's going to be easier with this bolt loose to do that. Oh my, I shouldn't have came out the whole way. Clip should have held it in there. Well, I'll put that back together. I've been trying to get a hold of Uberman over this whole ordeal, and I've had trouble until just now. Finally, I was sending to the wrong email address. I don't know. The email I got was off of his merchandise page, whatever. He does the same thing I do, and he has a lot more followers and everything. But anyway, I did lie to you guys. I thought this thing was a 2014. I just looked at the title. It's a 13. I swear it said 14. Whatever. It's no big deal. 13, 14. It's not a big difference. Yeah, and somebody emailed him, telling him a bunch of lies. Like, said he was the guy that bought the truck off me, which that guy is from just down the road. And yes, the day after he bought it, it did break down, but it wasn't the engine. It shut off. And 20 minutes later, it started back up. And it ended up being a cam sensor. He had it replaced. The truck's been running good ever since. So whoever that was, it was feeding him a bunch of lies about whatever. That's just kind of pathetic that you try to stir stuff up like that. But whatever. It is what it is. You do what you want. I have a normal life outside of YouTube. I don't really need any of that. But yeah, so I got both these seat belts out. It really didn't take that long. The headlight was way worse than that. So, and I know I didn't really get much done today, and then, you know, I'm trying.
Me and the wife are going through all of these snack foods here. One of my subscribers from Australia sent me a bunch of goodies, and his daughter drew a picture of Stewie.
Stewie's famous.
Stewie, what are you doing on the table?
He's like, I heard my name.
What are you doing on the table? What do you think of your picture?
That's you. He's like, no, I'm spelling you. I'm loving you.
Anyway, my beautiful wife
Oh, yeah.
has decided that she wants to bid on cars at insurance auctions.
Oh yeah, I just thought, why not?
I mean, know that.
Why not pick up another hobby besides training and being an EMT? Bid on cars now. Why not?
Perfect woman. Just the perfect woman. Now here it is, close to the end of my video. And I told some of my people that follow me on Facebook that I had some good news. So I'm going to get into that right now. Alright, it's probably not what you expected. First off, I want to let you know, I'm not selling out. I've had offers in the past for advertising and stuff like that, and nothing was like related to my channel. It was like video games and mobile apps and stupid stuff, and I'm like, it's not related to car stuff. I really don't want to advertise it. So I held out. Well, being that the Cruze was it needed the seat belts, I've reached out to companies before, never got a response. I reached out to this company, Safety Restore, and they got back to me very promptly. I told them to check my channel out, and they did, and they're excited to have the opportunity here that I can do a little bit of advertising for them. In return, they're helping me with my seat belts. So they have a lifetime warranty on everything, 100% satisfaction guarantee, quick turnaround, 24 hours that is, quick shipping back, outstanding customer service. To me, it was awesome that they responded to me so quickly and offered to help me on this build. That meant like a lot to me, and it was just awesome. And it's going to help me cut my costs down on this Cruze. So if you got, I know a lot of you guys like to do what I do. So I mean, eventually you're going to either need a crash module reset or you're going to need a seatbelt redone. And these guys seem like the ones to go to. All you got to do is simply pick the seatbelt, like the module or the seatbelts that you need. You ship your item to them. They do it 24 hours, ship it back to you. And I'm about to ship mine now, so we'll see how quick it is. So yeah, this is Safety Restore's webpage. It's www.safetyrestore.com. They're based out of Massachusetts, and I really appreciate their support on this one, and I look forward to doing more business with them in the future. And I hope you guys look them up. If you need anything done with your seatbelts or crash module, these guys are the ones to go to. You know, I learned in all of this, I suck at advertising. But you guys get the gist of it and you understand. But hopefully I'll get better. And I want to give a big shout out to Scott Goodman again. Thank him and his daughter. We love the picture of Stewie. It's awesome. We enjoy the treats and stuff. It was really kind of you to do that. I may send you something back, just because. So we got a little bit of work done on the car today, didn't we, Stewie? Huh? Yeah. So anyway, like, subscribe, and go check out some other videos, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out!